So in this session, we hope to discuss about Google Forms and how to create Google documents and Google Sheets, right? So as we discussed in last session, so we did Word and Excel, right? So we discussed about some basic tools and options in Word and also Excel. So how to define a formulas, how to define functions in Excel, right? So hope you all gone through with that, right? So today the main discussion is Google Forms, Sheets, and Docs, right? So first, I hope discuss about Google Forms, right? So I hope all have Google accounts, right? Gmails, right? මම හිතන ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඔක්කොටම Gmail account එකක් තියෙනවා කියලා, right? So first of all, I would like to give a small introduction about Google Forms, right? So Google Forms are used to like getting feedbacks, right? So we can create quizzes and assessments by using forms, right? We can collect data from Google Forms, right? And it is the main thing is it is cloud based, right? So it is cloud based. So several people can access and do the customizations, right? So share my screen. So hope you all can see my screen, right? So first of all, you need to have an Gmail account, right? You need to have an Gmail. So hope you all have a Gmail account, right? So from that, we can access to forms, sheets, and docs, right? So first of all, to open Google Forms, you can go to your Gmail, right? You can go to your Gmail. So this is my Gmail account, right? So you can, from this window, there is option in here. You can see. You
ලොකෝ
can,
මේ ෆෝන් එක රීසෙට් කරලා පරණ Gmail එකම දැම්මොත් YouTube
right? So this is my Gmail window, right? You also can open your Gmail accounts, right? Then in your right hand side top corner, you can see a option called Google Apps, right? There is option called Google Apps, right? So by clicking that, you can see several options in Google Apps, right? So in here, Google Play, Gmail, Drive, Calendar, Translate. Likewise, there are several apps provided by Google, right? So in here, you can see there is an app called Forms, right? You can see there is a option called Forms, right? So you can click on that, right? Then you can see a window like this, right? So once you open your Gmail, you can see a option in your right hand side top corner called Google Apps, right? So by clicking that, you can see several apps provided by Google, right? So in here, there is an option called Forms or tool called Forms, right? So you can click on that. Then you can see a window like this, right? You can see a window like this, title as Forms, right? In top, you can see a search bar, right? And there is an option called Recent Forms. So pre-created forms by yourself, right? In here, so I created several forms, right? And also you can create a new form, right? Or else you can create a new form. In here, they are provided some predefined templates, right? if you need to collect contact information from some particular people, right? You can click on this contact information form, right? Then after you can customize it, right? If you need to create a party invitation, you can click on this. If you need to design a t-shirt sign up, right? You can click on this, right? There are several templates, right? Some default templates that provided by forms, right? Or else you can click on blank, right? So first of all, you need to open your Gmail, then you need to go to Google Apps, then you need to open Forms. Then after you can see a window like this, then you can click on any template or you can click on blank form, right? So once you click on blank form, right, you can see a window like this. So in here, I hope to get some student information, right? So I hope to get some student information from our faculty, right? So I'm creating a form to get the student information, right? So in here, in the first part, you can give a title to your form, right? You can give a title, right? So before that, there is some options in your right-hand side top corner. You can customize your theme, right? Before creating the form, you can customize your theme, right? So there are some several options to customize your Google form, right? You can add colors, you can change the font, you can change the font size, right? You can choose a header image, right? So likewise, you can do several customizations, right? And also, there's another tool called preview. So this is very important, right? So from this, you can see the user view, right? How the user can see your form, right? So by clicking this is the user view, right? So once you send this form to a student can see this form like this, right? So this is called user view, right? So still we didn't include any question or didn't include any title, right? So this is the user view, right? In here, this is the main admin view, right? So from this, you can add questions, you can add titles, you can add themes, right? Whatever thing you want, right? So first of all, we can give a title, right? So I'm giving student information, right? Right. Then you can give a description about your form, right? Or else you can keep it as a blank, right? So I'm giving description as student information of Faculty of Applied Sciences, right? So in here also there is some options called bold, italic, underlined, right? You can add a numbered list. So these things we discussed in last session, right? Under Word and Excel, right? So we discuss about how to bold text, how to italic. So what is mean by underline? So how to create numbered list, how to create bulletins, right? So these things we discuss, right? So give me a moment. Right. So in here, I give the title as student information and the description as student information of Faculty of Applied Sciences, right? So you can decide the title and description, right? So according to your requirement, right? So if you are creating a invitation, you can decide the topic, right? Can keep it as invitation, right? So likewise, you can decide that. So in here, I am hope to gather some information from students in applied sciences faculty, right? So I'm giving student information and description as student information of faculty of applied sciences, right? Then now the first step is done, right? So we give a title and description, right? Now we can add questions, right? Now we can add questions, right? So I hope to get first name, last name, address, gender. Likewise, I hope to get some more, 5 or 6 details from students, right? So my first question is first name, right? So my first question is first name, right? So this one also you can bold, italic, underline. Likewise, you can customize it, right? Then you can choose the question type. So what is the type of the question, right? So we know first name is like short text, right? So there are several types you can see. First one is short answer, paragraph, multiple choice, checkboxes, drop down, file upload, linear scale. Likewise, there are several question types, right? So we know most at most time the first name is short answer, right? Because they are giving a short answer for the first name, right? So then so my first question is now okay, right? Again, you can go to the preview and see the output. Then you can see the first question is updated to your form, right? Right. So then the user can enter their first name and submit, right? So then in here, you can see option called required, right? So if we enable this, right, then user must fill this question. They can't keep it as a blank, or they need to ask this question, right? They can't skip this. So if we keep it as disable this required option, then they can keep it. That is not must, right? They can keep it as blank. And that is not required, right? If they need to answer, they can answer, right? That is not compulsory, right? But if we tick on this, if we enable this required option, then it is must, right? User need to answer this question. They can't skip it, right? So if you have some compulsory questions, you can keep it as required option as enabled, right? So if you have some optional questions, you can keep it as disabled, right? So in here, my first name question is compulsory question, right? So it is. Then I will enable this required option, right? So if you need to delete this question, you can delete by this option. If you need to copy this question, or if you need to get a duplicate from this question, you can click on duplicate, right? In here, then my first question is okay, right? Now I need to add my second question, right? So likewise, I can click on this plus button and add my second question, right? Now my first question is done, right? So my second question is address, right? So then we need to select the question type, right? So we know that, so that is not short text, right? So address is a little bit of long than the first name, right? So then we can keep it as paragraph, right? So then user can enter long answer, right? So in here, user can enter short answer. So by keeping this question as paragraph type question, then the user can give a long answer, right? So again, this one is also required. Then you need to enable this required option, right? Then my third question is gender, right? My third question is gender. So we know that mainly there are two gender types, male and female, right? So we can keep it as short text, but the ideal one is multiple choice, right? Then we can define the choices, right? So we know that there are main two genders, male and female. Then you can define the choices. Then the user can click on that, right? So as an example, so my first choice is male, right? And the second choice is female, right? Now I choose choices, right? Then user need to choose from these two options, male or female. They can tick any answer, right? Male or female, right? And that one also required. Now we have three questions: first name, address, and gender. Now we can again see the preview, right? Now you can see we have the title and description and three questions, right? So this asterisk mark means that question is required because we enable the required option. So this asterisk mark means this question is required. So we have three questions. First name is short answer, address is long answer, and gender is multiple choice question, right? So we gave two choices, male and female. Then they can tick on one of these options, right? You can see user can tick on one of these options, right? In here, they can enter their first name, right? In here, they can enter their address, right? After that, they can submit the form, right? So this is how we can create questions, right? So there are several types you can go through one by one, right? There are some options called checkboxes, drop-down menu, and file upload, linear scale, right? Date, time, right? So as an example, if we add another question called date of birth, right? So what is that type? So the type is date, right? Because we are getting a date from a user, right? We need a date of birth. Then we can keep it as date, right? Again, that one also required. Then we can again go to the preview and see the output, right? So in here you can see so when the user enter date of birth, there is option to enter the date of birth, right? They can click on this and select the date of birth, their date of birth, right? They can go to their year, month, and date, right? So once they click on a single date, then this will be updated, right? After that, they can submit it, right? So I keep all question as required, right? Then user need to answer all questions. They can't submit it without answering all the questions, right? So they need to answer on all the questions. So if the user keep a question as a blank, then he or she can't submit the form because we keep all the question as required. You can see all the questions considered a strict mark, right? So then now we create our Google form, right? Now we create our Google form. So now we need to send this Google form, right? Because we need to send this Google form to students because they are the ones who fill this, right? Now we create the Google form, then we need to send it. To send the Google form, you need to click on this send button, right? You need to click on the send button. Then you can see a window like this, right? Then you can send this Google form via email, right? You can send this Google form through an email. Or else you can generate a link to this Google form. Then you need to send this link to your students, right? Then he or she can click on this link and access to this Google form and fill it, right? So you can just copy and just paste on your email or anything, then you can send it. Then the users can click on this link and access to this Google form, right? Then they can fill it, right? So this is how we can generate the link of this Google form, right? And also we can add editors to this Google form, right? So in here, I am the editor, right? So in here, I am the editor because this Google form is created by using my Gmail, right? But we can create or we can add some editors, collaboratives to this Google form. For that, you need to click on this add editor, right? Then you can search and add editors, right? As an example, I am adding editor. So I'm search the name and click on the needed editor, right? Then we can keep this person as an editor, right? So then we can send to this Google form to them, right? He or she, right? So this is not user view, right? So once we keep it a person as editor, he or she can edit this Google form. They can add questions, they can customize this Google form. But if we keep it as a user, so they can't customize it, right? They only can answer it and submit it, right? So that is the difference between editor and the normal user, right? So if we keep it as a person as editor, then he or she can edit this Google form. They can add questions, they can modify questions. But if he or she is a user, so they cannot edit. They only can fill the questions and submit it, right? So then up to this point, we learn about how to create the Google form and how to generate the link and how to add editors to the Google form, right? Now, so once the users fill this Google form, we need the responses, right? So we need to get the responses, right? So this is all cloud-based. No any specific softwares are needed, right? So that was an advantage, right? So any specific softwares are needed. Just you need an internet connection, right? And log into your Gmail and you can create a Google form and send it to anyone, right? Then they can fill it and you can see the responses. So to see the responses, you need to go to this responses tab. So your responses comes to a spreadsheet. Right? So once they fill the Google form, all the responses comes as a spreadsheet to a spreadsheet, right? So for that, you need to click on responses and link to sheets. Click on link to sheet, right? Then you can give a name to your responses sheet, right? Right. So once users fill the questions, then your spreadsheet or Excel sheet will be updated row by row, right? So there is one specific one row for one user, right? So we learn about what are the rows, what are the columns, right? In Word and Excel session. So once the users fill the Google form, then they will have a single row to each and every user, right? For the response, right? So we can give a name to your spreadsheet, right? So I am giving again student information sheet, right? Then you can click on create, right? Now we create the, right? So this is your spreadsheet, right? So once a user fill the Google form, then the row by row will be updated, right? So if the Google form filled by 10%, right, 10 users, then you have 10 rows will be updated, right? So as an example, if I fill it as Susiri, Moratua, and male, right? Then if I submit this, automatically this data will be updated into this row. First name is Susiri, address is Moratua, gender is male, date of birth is the date I choose, right? So no need to manually add. Automatically, this sheet will be updated once the users fill the Google form, right? So that was an advantage because no need to manually create the data sheets. So once the data collection is over, you can download this sheet to your device, right? So to download this sheet, you need to go to File, Download, Microsoft Excel. Then your sheet will be downloaded as Excel sheet, right? Then you can open it from Microsoft Excel, right? Then it is a normal Excel sheet, right? So then that was the advantage of Google Forms, right? No any software needed, right? Give me a moment. Right? So then you can download this Excel sheet and open it from your normal Excel software, right? MS Excel, right? So then the advantage is this is cloud-based. No any softwares are needed. You can just create a Google form and you can send it, right? Then automatically the spreadsheet also will be updated once they fill the Google form, right? So then we can use these Google forms to collect data, right? We can, right? You can, so if you can remember the templates that are available in Google Forms, right? Right. So you can gather contact information from users. You can create party invitations, right? So as an example, if you click this party invite template, right? You can see their default given the topic or the title and also the description. You can customize it, right? It doesn't matter. Then their name and whether he or she can attend the party or not, right? How many of you are attending? So what will you bringing? Likewise, you can customize it, right? It doesn't matter. So they are giving some sample questions. So it is not suitable to your invitation. You can customize it, right? You can delete it, right? So as an example, if I doesn't want this question, you can click on this and you can click on delete, then it will be deleted from the Google form, right? So likewise, we can customize it, right? So this image also you can customize, right? You can add a new image to this, right? So this is how we can create Google Forms, and we can generate link and send to the users, right? So in here, you will get the responses, right? So this is called Google Sheets. So I told you today I am going to discuss about Google Forms and Google Sheets and Google Documents, right? So this is like your Excel window, right? So the main difference is this is sort of a cloud-based, right? So we can add some editors to this also. More than one people can access to this Google spreadsheets, right? So in your Excel, you only can edit, you only can add. You are the one who can add data, edit data, do the modifications, right? But if you are using Google Spreadsheets, you can add some collaborators, right? Right. So as an example, you can go to Google Sheets from that Google Apps also, right? So if you click on this Google Apps, so this is also Google Spreadsheet, right? So but you can go to a new Google Sheet from, again you need to go to your Gmail and you can click on this Google Apps, and you will see a app called Sheets, Google Sheets, right? Then you can click on this. Again, similar to the Google Form case, they will give a sample templates, right? Monthly budget, annual budget, to-do list, annual calendar, Google Finance investigations, right? So there are some default templates available, right? And also that you will see some recent Google spreadsheet that you created before, right? So in here, there are several Google Sheets I engage with, right? Because some Google Sheets are not created by me, right? So they created a Google Sheet and add me as a editor, right? Then I also can collaborate to that Google Sheet, right? I also can edit that Google Sheet, right? Then in here, there are some templates. So, or else you can click on this blank spreadsheet, right? So I'm clicking this blank spreadsheet, right? Then you will see a blank spreadsheet like this, right? So these tools are similar to the Excel, right? Most of the tools are similar to your Microsoft Excel, right? So you are familiar with these things, right? Font size, bold, italic, borders, right? I'm not going to discuss it again, right? The main difference is we can add some collaboratives to this. Then if we send this Google Sheet link to anyone, then he or she also can edit this data or edit this spreadsheet. For that, you can click on share, right? So as you point your cursor to share, you can see a message called private to only me. So still, I am the one who can edit this spreadsheet, right? Because still I am not added any collaborators to this, right? So once you click on this, you will see a window like this. First, you need to give a name, or else you can skip it, right? So I am giving my spreadsheet, right? Right. Then this is similar to that Google form window, right? So once we add collaborators to the Google Forms, this window came, right? So this the window that came when we add collaborators to Google Forms, right? So in here you can again search collaborators or editors. So I'm selecting this person, right? Then we can keep it as a viewer first. First option is viewer. Then this person cannot edit the Google Sheet. Right? He or she only can view the Google Sheet. Right? They can't edit it. They can't modify it. Right? So if we keep it as a commenter, again he or she cannot edit, but they can add comments to this Google Sheet. Right? But if we keep it as editor, then he or she can edit the data. Right? They can modify the values in spreadsheet. Right? So in here there are three options. So in Google Form we have one option called editor. So in here there are three options called viewer, comment, and editor. Right? So you can decide the role you are assigning to the person. Right? So this is how we can add collaboratives to the Google spreadsheet, right? So in here, you will see a option called general access. So this is default is restricted, right? So in here, you have two options called restricted or anyone with the link. So if we change this option to anyone with the link, then if I copy this link and send to anyone, then that person can edit the spreadsheet, right? Because in here I am giving the access to some specific people, right? But from this option, we can give the option to some several people. So in here, the simple meaning is anyone with the link. You can see that if I send this link to 10 people, then that 10 people can edit the data. In here also, we can change the role. If I change this as editor, then if I send this link to 10 people, then 10 people working as editors. If I keep it as a commenter, then if I send this link to a person, that person is assigned as a comment, then he or she only can comment on this, right? They can't edit the data. If you keep it as a viewer, only they can view the spreadsheet. They can't edit or modify it, right? They can't add comments also, right? So this is the difference between editor, comment, and viewer, right? Other options are similar, right? Other options are similar to Excel. And also, once you finish the creating the spreadsheet, you can download it, right? Again, you can go to File, Download. You can download it as a Microsoft Excel. Then after, you can open it on your Microsoft Excel or MS, Microsoft Office Excel software, right? That is, then it will become a normal Excel sheet, right? In here also, you can add some sheets, right? So in that Excel, Microsoft Office Excel also, we can add sheets, we can rename it, right? These things we discussed in earlier lecture. So this is the main difference between that normal Excel sheet and spreadsheet, right? So you can add some collaboratives and you can work with some several people at a one time, right? So if you are using the traditional Microsoft Excel sheet, then you need to send it and again he or she need to modify, again he or she need to send it to you, again you need to modify. Likewise, there are some huge process, right? But if you are using spreadsheets, Google spreadsheets, then no need to send it again and again. Just you need to send the link, then he or she can edit it, then finalize the spreadsheet, then after you can download it, right? So this is the exact advantage of Google spreadsheets, right? And also Google Forms. So the next one is Google Documents, Google Docs. That also appeared in Google Labs. So once you click Google Labs, now we discuss about Google Forms and Google Sheets, right? And in here you can see a app called Google Docs, right? So once you click on this, again you will see some sample templates and also some recent documents that created by me using Google Documents, right? So there are some sample templates, resume, letter, project proposal, right? And or else you can click on this blank document, right? So if you need a blank Google document, you can click on blank document. So once you click on blank document, so this is similar to your Word window, right? So we discussed in last session, we discussed about what are the tools and options in Word, right? This is similar to that spreadsheet case. Again, we can add collaborators. Then that people can modify this Google document, right? Again, you need to click on share, and you can give a name, or else you can skip it. Again, you can add people or groups, or else you can send the link. So once you send in the link, you need to keep it as anyone with the link, right? Then you can again keep the people as viewer, comment, or editor, right? You can decide that. So this is similar to MS Word, but the difference is we cannot collaborate use, right? Then several people can work in a single document at a one time, right? At a one time, several people can work in a single document. In this case also, several people can work on a single spreadsheet at a one time. Right? So that is a huge advantage. Right? So in here also there are some options called print, text, font, right? Font size, bold, italic. So these things we discussed earlier session. Right? So once you finalize the document, you can download it. Right? You can download it as a Microsoft document or Microsoft Word file. Then after you can open this document by using your Word software. So then it will become a normal Word document, right? So these are the main options and main differences between that Microsoft Word, Excel, and Google Spreadsheets and Google Documents and Google Forms, right? So you can hope you all have Gmails, then you can try it, right? You can go to your Gmail and you can try the forms. You can create a sample form and send to your friends and ask them to fill it, right? Then you can see the responses from them, right? Likewise, you can try it, right? So you have to practice it, right? Then only you will get an idea about the tools and softwares, right? Right? Because these things are practical things, right? You need to have a practical idea about this, right? You need to practice this. So, so as an example, so there's one question from your side. So to add editors, again, the process is similar, right? So all three apps, forms, spreadsheets, and Google Documents, the process is similar to add editors, right? You can click on the share option and you can give a name, right? Or else you can skip it, right? To that movement. Then after you can, from this text box, you can add some specific people, right? In here, you can add some specific people. Or else you can generate a link, right? Or else you can generate a link. then you can send this link and ask them to fill it. Ask them to collaborate with the sheet or document or form, whatever the thing, right? But if you have some specific people, you can add from this, right? As an example, so I'm adding this people as editor, right? So likewise, again, I'm adding these people. Likewise, you can choose, right? Can add several people. Or else you can send the link. You can copy this link and paste it to an email or anything. Then you can send it to any people you want, right? Then he or she can click on this link and engage to the Google document or spreadsheet, right? Then he or she can edit or anything. That depends on the role that you are keeping, right? So if you keep it as a viewer, they can't edit, they only can view. If you keep it as a commenter, they can comment on that. If you keep it as editor, they can modify the data, right? That's up to you. This is how we can uh, add editors and add people, specific people as editor, and how to and generate links to a Google form or spreadsheet, right? So I think these things, these are things I hope to discuss in today's session, right? So you need to practice it, right? Because these things are practical, practical things, right? You need to practice it, right? Then only you can familiar with these things, right? You need, so if you can create a sample Google form and you can send it to your friends, right? Few friends, right? Then they can fill it and you can see the response. Then only you will familiar with the process, right? You will familiar with the Google Forms, right? Again, you can create a sample spreadsheet and you can add your friends as editors. Then they also can edit this spreadsheet, right? Then you can see what's happening, right? So if you have any issues on Google Sheets, forms, or documents, you can ask, right? You can put it to chat box also, right? Because from 10 to 11, the session will be continued by Prasad, sir, right? Yeah, so once we close this window, this is saved to your Google Drive, right? No need to save it, right? So once you again log into your Gmail and go to your forms again, then it will appear in that recent documents, right? So as an example, if we go to forms, right? So you will see your created form in your recent documents, right? Right. Yeah. So in here you can see. So I create a party invitation document previously, then this will be saved in your drive, right? Google Drive, right? No need to save it again, right? So if you need to modify it again, you just need to double click on this. In here also, this is the one we created earlier, student information. That one also saved in your Google Drive, right? No need to save it. So once you finish the creating part or anything, right? So once you finalize your document, then only you can download it to your device, right? Then after that is offline, right? Then only you can access that one through your MS Word software, right? So if it is keep it as this, then your collaborators can edit this and modify it, right? So no need to save it again. It will be save it in your Google Drive, right? Automatically it will save it in your Google Drive. No need to manually save it, right? Just you need to edit it and close it. Right? So once you finish this, once you finish the finalizing the document, then only you can, then after you can download it to your device, right? So are there any questions? Yeah, so once you send the, so once you create the Google form, you can send the Google form by using this send option, right? Then you can generate a, you can send it as an email, or you can generate a link to your form, right? So once you send the link, he or she can, they can fill it and submit the form, right? So once they submit the form responses, you can see the responses from this, right? So we discussed these things earlier, right? We can create a Google Sheet and see the responses, right? So are there any more questions or unclear part in docs, spreadsheets, or forms, right? You need to practice it, right? So these are theories, right? You need to practice it and get familiar with these things, right? Okay, if you don't have any questions, so I'm giving Senathan sir to continue the session from this point.
Yeah, thank you, Susri. Yeah, thank you, Susri. Hope everyone can hear me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, there was an notice, and as well as there was a notice. We are going to convey that one message in 3 languages, which means the English, Tamil, and as well as in Sinhala. So first of all, I think all of you have received the emails from the Chandrika Madam, the coordinator of the orientation committee. You already received the email, which means your official email that has reside inside the domain of SUSL, along with a password. All of you have to log in into that email before this Sunday to make sure you have the active account. So active account means once you log in, it's automatically get activated. Otherwise, you will be facing some difficulties from next week onwards. You are receiving all the day-to-day reminder on the orientation committee, all the email, all the LMS credentials, which means we are going to discuss about one of the system called LMS to download the course materials, and you are going to enroll within the LMS to deal with all the courses and stuff, to download the materials, and quiz will be conducted through the LMS. So we are going to discuss about that one later. There will be no issues. So you will be notified with all the reminders and the program and the events going to get held on the orientation through your through your SUSL email, which means you already received it. Most of you have already received it. Some of you, except 4 to 5 students, those who we didn't receive the registration details, we have not we have not sent the emails to you still. But other than that, most of you, around I think more than 200 emails that has been already generated to each and every one of you, along with the username and the password. So you have to make sure you have login before this Sunday. You have login before this Sunday to make your account activated. And if you have any queries, I think you are already access to the website. If you have any queries, you are feel free to discuss or send an email to the help desk, IT help desk that has been mentioned within the website, which means there are 4 email addresses. You are feel free to contact any of the email addresses. If you have any queries with your personal email address, you can navigate an email to us in case if you have any login issues. ஸோ இது தமிழில் சொல்கிறேன். யார் தமிழில் இருக்கீங்கன்னு தெரியாது. அவ்வளோ பேருக்கும் முதல்ல காலை வணக்கம். என்னென்னா, உங்களுக்கு ஒரு இமெயில் அட்ரஸ் ஒன்று ஷேர் பண்ணப்பட்டிருக்கும். கோஆர்டினேட்டர் இருந்து அவ்வளோ பேருக்கும் ஒரு இமெயில் அட்ரஸ் ஒன்று ஷேர் பண்ணப்பட்டிருக்கும் பாஸ்வேர்டோட. இந்த ஞாயிற்றுக்கிழமைக்குள்ளுக்கு நீங்கள் அவ்வளோ பேரும் அந்த யூசர் நேம் பாஸ்வேர்டை அதாவது பிரதிட்டு நீங்கள் அதை ஆக்டிவேட் பண்ண வேண்டியது, அதாவது அதை வேலிடேட் பண்ண வேண்டிய கட்டாயத்துக்கு உள்ளாயிருக்கீங்க. நீங்க அதுக்கு பிறகு என்னடா எந்த ஒரு இதுக்கு சம்பந்தமான எந்த ஒரு நிகழ்ச்சியா இருக்கட்டும், ஓரியன்டேஷன்ல இருக்க எந்த சம்பந்தமான நிகழ்ச்சியா இருக்கட்டும், எந்த ஒரு இன்ஃபர்மேஷனா இருக்கட்டும், அது எல்லாமே உங்களோட ஒஃபிஷியல் இமெயில் அட்ரஸ் கூட தான் ஷேர் பண்ணப்படும். நாங்க எந்த ஒரு சந்தர்ப்பத்திலையும் பர்சனல் இமெயில் கூட வார புதன்கிழமைக்கு பிறகு நாங்க ஷேர் பண்ண மாட்டோம். அப்ப அதனால ஞாயிற்றுக்கிழமைக்குள்ளுக்கு, அதாவது உங்களுக்கு ஒரு 5 நிமிஷம் வேலை அது. நீங்க உங்களோட யூசர் நேமையும் பாஸ்வேர்டையும் அடிச்சு அதை நீங்க வேலிடேட் பண்றது, ஆக்டிவேட் பண்றது உங்களுக்கு ஒரு 5 நிமிட வேலை. ஸோ அவ்வளோ பேருக்கும் என்ன ஒரு அறிவுறுத்தப்படுத்தப்படுது என்ற ஃபேக்கல்டி ஆஃப் அப்ளிகேஷன் பீடத்தால நீங்க அவ்வளோ பேரும் உங்களுக்கு வந்திருக்க யூசர் நேம் அண்ட் பாஸ்வேர்டை வந்து வேலிடேட் பண்ணணும். இந்த ஞாயிற்றுக்கிழமைக்குள்ளுக்கு எதுவும் பிரச்சனை இருந்ததுண்டா ஹெல்ப் டெஸ்க், அதாவது ஆல்ரெடி உங்களுக்கு வெப்சைட்ல லிங்க் ஷேர் பண்ணப்பட்டிருக்கும். அந்த வெப்சைட் லிங்க்ல ஹெல்ப் டெஸ்க்னு சொல்லி இமெயில் அட்ரஸ் இருக்கும் 4. ஏதாவது ஒரு இமெயில் அட்ரஸ்க்கு, பிறகு 4க்கும் அனுப்புறது இல்லை, ஏதாவது ஒரு இமெயில் அட்ரஸுக்கு உங்களுக்கு லாகின் இஷ்யூ இருக்கு, இந்த இமெயில்ல தந்த யூசர் நேம் அந்த பாஸ்வேர்ட்ல ஏதாவது பிரச்சனை இருக்குன்னு சொன்னா அவ்வளோ பேருக்கும் இன்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணுவோம். இது முக்கியமான அறிவித்தல், எல்லாரும் ரிமெம்பர் பண்ணிக்கொள்ளுங்க. இந்த ஞாயிற்றுக்கிழமைகளுக்கு ஆக்டிவ் பண்ணப்படணும். அதே நேரத்தில் வார புதன்ல இருந்து எந்த ஒரு இமெயிலும் உங்களுக்கு பர்சனல் இமெயிலுக்கு வராது, SUSL இமெயிலுக்கு தான் வரும். அதே நேரத்தில் நீங்க ஆல்ரெடி எல்லாருக்குமே தெரிஞ்சிருக்கும், SUSL இமெயில் வந்து அன்லிமிட்டட் ஸ்டோரேஜோட உள்ளது. அதாவது இப்போ உங்களோட இருந்து 15 GB தான் உங்களோட ஸ்டோர் பண்ணலாம். உங்களோட நார்மலான இமெயில் அட்ரஸ், பர்சனல் இமெயில் அட்ரஸ்ல. இந்த ஸ்டூடெண்ட் இமெயில் அட்ரஸ் நீங்க வச்சிருந்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு அது அன்லிமிட்டட் ஸ்டோரேஜ், எவ்வளவு GB வேணாலும் இன்ஸ்டால் பண்ணலாம். 4 இயர்க்கும் 4 இயர்ல 6 இயர்ஸ்க்கு அது வேலிடா இருக்கும் உங்களோட இமெயில் அட்ரஸ். ஸோ நீங்க 6 இயர்ஸ்க்கு மெயின்டைன் பண்ணலாம். என்ரோல்மெண்ட்ல இருந்து நீங்க உள்வாங்கப்பட்டதுல இருந்து 6 வருஷத்துக்கு அது வேலிடேட்டா இருக்கும். ஸோ அதை கீப் ரிமூவ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். Susiri, can you convey this message in Sinhala as well?
yes. ඔයගලන්ට මේ ඊමේල් එකක් ඇවිල්ලා ඉතින් චන්ද්‍රිකා මැඩම්ගෙන් ඔයගලන්ගේ ඔෆිෂියල් ඊමේල්ස් යුනිවර්සිටි එකේ ඊමේල් එකයි පාස්වර්ඩ් එකයි. හරිද? ඔයගලන්ට පුළුවන් ඒක ඒ ඊමේල් එක ඒ ක්‍රෙඩෙන්ෂියල්ස් වලින් ඒක ඔයගලන්ගේ ඊමේල් එක ඇක්ටිවේට් කරගන්නවා. ඒතකොට ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේ ඉරිදට කලින් අනිවාර්යෙන් ඒ ඊමේල් එකේ ඊමේල් එකේ පාස්වර්ඩ් එකයි ගහලා ලොග් වෙන්න විතරයි තියෙන්නේ ඔයගලන්ට. හරිද? ඔයගලන් ලොග් වුණාට පස්සේ ඔටෝමැටිකලි ඒක ඇක්ටිවේට් වෙනවා. හරිද? එතකොට මම හිතනවා ගොඩාක් ළමයිට ඊමේල් එක ඇවිල්ලා ඇති. ඔයගලන්ගේ විස්තර පරක්කු වෙච්ච කීප දෙනෙක්ට ඇරෙන්න අනික හැමෝටම ඊමේල් එක ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඉරිදට කලින් අනිවාර්යෙන් ඒ ක්‍රෙඩෙන්ෂියල්ස් ඊමේල් එකයි පාස්වර්ඩ් එකයි එන්ටර් කරලා අනිවාර්යෙන් ලොග් වෙන්න. ඊට මොකද ඔයගලන්ට ලබන සතියේ ඉඳන් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ඔයගලන්ගේ LMS එකේ විස්තර, එතකොට ඔක්කොම ඔරියන්ටේෂන් එකේ ඩීටේල්ස්, ඔක්කොම නොටිෆිකේෂන්ස් ඔක්කොම එන්නේ ඔයගලන්ගේ ඔෆිෂියල් ඊමේල් එකට. ඔයගලන්ගේ පර්සනල් ඊමේල් එකට නෙමෙයි, Gmail එකට නෙමෙයි. ඔයගලන්ට දැන් හම්බෙන්නේ මේ ඔෆිෂියල් ඊමේල් එකට තමයි හම්බෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා අනිවාර්යෙන් ඉරිදට කලින් ඔක ඇක්ටිවේට් කරගන්න. හරිද? ඔයාලට මොනවා ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා නම් ඇක්ටිවේට් වෙන්නේ නැති, හරි මොකක් හරි ඉෂුව එකක් තියෙනවා නම් ඔයගලන්ට ලොග් වෙන්න බැරි. ඔයගලන්ට ඔරියන්ටේෂන් ඔයගලගේ වෙබ්සයිට් එකේ තියෙනවා IT help desk කියලා ඊමේල්ස් 4ක් මෙන්ෂන් කරලා ඒ 4ෙන් පුළුවන් ඔයගලන්ට ඊමේල් එකක් ඔයගලන්ට එවලා ඔයගලන්ගේ ඉෂුව එක කියන්න. හරිද? එතකොට මේ ඊමේල් එක මේ ඔයගලන්ටත් වටිනවා. මොකද ඔයගලන්ට දැන් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ඔයගලගේ Google Drive එකක් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මේ යුනිවර්සිටි ඊමේල් එකට අන්ලිමිටඩ්, රයිට්? නැත්තම් ඒකට ස්පෙસિෆික් මේ පොඩි ස්ටෝරේජ් එකක් විතරයි තියෙන්නේ. හරිද? 15 GB වගේ. ඒ නිසා ඔයගලන්ට පුළුවන් මේ ඔයගලගේ ඊමේල් එකෙන් ලොග් වෙලා ඒක ඇක්ටිවේට් කරන්න ඉඳලා කලින් ඊට පස්සේ ඔයගලන්ට ඒක හරහා තමයි ඔක්කොම විස්තර එන්නේ. හරිද? ඔයගලගේ පර්සනල් ඊමේල් වලට ආයෙන්නේ නැහැ. official email හරහා තමයි ඔයගොල්ලන්ව contact කරගන්නේ. ඔක්කොම ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ තියෙන වැඩසටහන ඉස්සරහට තියෙන orientation වැඩසටහන, ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ LMS program ඔක්කොම කියලා දෙන්නේ මේ official email හරහා. අනිවාර්යෙන් ඒක කරන්න. හරි. Okay sir.
Thank you, Susri. Yeah, can you give me the host? Then I can handle the session. Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Susri.
Okay sir.